So I'm going to get into rules here for you and give you kind of an introduction tag on here for the rules. But we want to just conduct camp with transparency and dignity and right care for our campers and staff. And that means a commitment to relationships and best practice. Whenever people gather for a common goal, we have to have the rules of conduct necessary to ensure everyone works together effectively and collaboratively. We have to know our boundaries to function. So I acknowledge that there's a desire in all of us to kind of just ignore rules and do our thing. And I salute you, fellow wild childs that just don't like to be told what to do. But I also expect that you accept the responsibility of RFK rules when committing to come to camp. We have to follow these needed rules for our good and the camper's best experience. So these are what is expected and necessary out at camp so that everyone can work together seamlessly and so our campers can see a unified team working for them. For that end, here are the rules for our conduct and to protect everyone at camp. We recognize that we are all under God's authority and protection, and He has established rules for our benefit. In the same way, For the Children has rules to protect the campers and sponsoring churches and volunteers. It's a privilege to care for and minister to these kids. It's why it's essential to follow the rules so the children are safe and the sponsoring and local camp can receive annual certification to operate. Unanticipated situations at camp can arise quickly and require a snap judgment. Often, camp leadership is not immediately available for consultation, but when in doubt, uphold the rules, choose the most common sense, safest action in the moment, and consult leadership as soon as possible. As you become more experienced, these decisions will come easier, but it's crucial to understand that your responsibility is to ensure a safe and fun and successful God-centered camp. For everyone's success, the expectation is the diligent and consistent enforcement of all these rules for every single staff person. Interactions between campers and volunteers must be above reproach, and this means to know and complete your obligations to the best of your abilities. Why? Because God will be honored as we serve each other with integrity and our campers with care and compassion. Let us begin with our child protection plan. This is going to be verbatim directly out of the RFK manual for you. Predators may exist within our churches, schools, programs, sports programs, and every type of youth-serving organization involving children from nurseries to Olympic athletes. We have a spiritual, legal, and moral obligation to protect the children in our care. For the Children has a long history of keeping children safe, and we must continue to grow and develop new procedures and policies to keep up with changing times and tactics. Many resources have been developed to continue this fight, and what we share here is the minimum expectations for volunteers to clarify some of the rules and policies. The crucial resource is the Child Safety Plan. It must be shared with the children at the beginning of the program, which is the rules video we show the children, and it can be delivered in other ways as well. Some children have found the courage to speak out against an abuser after they have seen a similar video because it establishes a sense of felt safety and means of communicating abuse. So, the first thing is the 3 T's. The 3 T's are talk, touch, and territory. This is a basic list of appropriate and inappropriate conduct with children at RFK programs. It is not all-inclusive. Specific rules, such as too deep, always apply. Appropriate talk is verbal praise for specific achievement or behavior, verbal and written encouragement, teachable moments, answering questions, and promoting or helping discover life skills. Inappropriate talk would be compliments or questions related to physique or body development, swearing or vulgar language, verbal harassment, taunts or abuse, telling or asking about secrets, sexual coaching or sexual conversations, sexual jokes and any sexual innuendos, letters and notes about love, desire, and beauty. The second T is touch. What is appropriate touch out at camps? These are going to look like handshakes, high fives, short hugs, holding hands, side hugs of a congratulations, or greeting, arm around the shoulders, helping with activities like showing them how to use a bow and arrow, painting fingernails, these kind of activities. Inappropriate touch would be private back rubs, massages, or rubbing on lotion. So we'll make sure we're using spray-on sunscreen out at camp. If a kid brings rub-on lotion, we need to let them do it themselves, or convince them to use a spray bottle instead. Touch, we want to make inappropriate touch includes touching of private parts, touching sexually, touching a child in anger, disgust, or frustration, frontal hugs, sitting on laps, piggyback rides, or sitting on shoulders, any kind of kissing, intimate wrestling, or tickling, humor that demeans, such as noogies or wedgies. And then the third one is territory. So appropriate sense of territory is always 2 adults behind doors, down trails, or in secluded areas, one-on-one interactions only in public view, group or public environments. Not appropriate is favoritism or giving personal gifts, sitting or lying on another person's bed, private one-on-one interactions behind closed doors or in secluded areas with only one adult, mooning, streaking, flashing, purposefully showing nude or private parts. And please note that any showing of private parts will result in an arrest, most likely. And then we have the 3 R's, and this is something you might remember from our rules video for the kids if you've seen it out there. This helps the child feel that they have a voice, and if they speak up, they will be heard. If a child discloses past or current abuse, it is vital that we assure them and let them know they've been heard. What they share may or may not require a report to authorities, so seek guidance from leadership. The first R is to recognize, and this gives guidance to the kids for recognizing that inappropriate behavior. They need to resist, which means they can resist inappropriate behaviors, and they need to report, which means they have a way of reporting any inappropriate behaviors. So we would never want to, we wouldn't want to ever imply that tattletaling is wrong with our campers. The 3 W's are something that we want to encourage because they will help with the monitoring and supervision and detecting of inappropriate behaviors at a peer-to-peer level and a child-to-adult level. It provides the children with 360 degrees of supervision. The goal is for every volunteer to periodically ask the 3 W's: who, where, and what. Who is with the child? Where are they? What are they doing? When the answer to one of these questions is unsure, you must follow up with more questions or additional assistance. The majority of the time, people do the right thing. However, sometimes volunteers forget. Occasionally, volunteers think the rules do not apply to them, and rarely, someone might have the wrong intentions. Either scenario can be quickly investigated and corrected by answering these 3 questions. Who is with the child? Where are they? What are they doing? You have the authority and the obligation to ask and say something to help keep kids safe. The safety rules are for the protection of the children and the volunteers and the camp. No list of rules can guarantee 100% safety, but years of application have given this organization confidence that this list is a great start for helping these kids have a successful week in our program. Local chapters can have additional rules to help their camp function. The rules do not exist for their own merit. They are in place to help fulfill the mission, to create life-changing moments. Keep that in perspective while we try to enforce and comply with the rules, that we do it for legal reasons, moral reasons, and as tools to accomplish the mission. When we break the rules, children get hurt, and we compromise that mission. For the success of the program, you need a clear understanding of the rules, why they exist, and the ability to consistently enforce them. Our camp needs to have felt safety, and you can't fake that to a kid who has been high alert and have gut instincts to danger. I'm gonna hit this one home really hard for you. If I haven't done this with you before, this year I feel the need for it. So there must always be 2 RFK trained adults around, providing direct supervision to children from the time the guardian leaves them in our care until the guardian picks them back up again. Any child who goes behind closed doors, into restrooms, behind buildings, or into secluded areas away from the mainstream group must be accompanied by 2 trained RFK adults to comply with 2D. We must also be aware of possible child-to-child abuse at times. Large areas that allow children to gather, such as meeting rooms, cafeterias, play fields, pools, activity centers, may be supervised by adults at a reasonable distance, provided that the children can be seen, heard, and adequately supervised based on the event and the number of children involved. Well, hello, sir. There must be adequate adult supervision around water at all times. This is Branson. Say hello. For the camp program, using the bathroom at night might require extra supervision for line of sight. Line of sight is an unobstructed view of the child and close enough that you can tell that they are safe. In the bathroom, if the bathrooms are not available in the cabin, you must create a system for still having line of sight and safety for the camper. My dog. You're drooling on my book. Anyway, so I'm going to just quick note that there was an article from 2019 that RFK had sent with some other camp information, basically saying you can have a 2 deep rule, but if people don't follow it, here's proof what happens. And it was for a synagogue in Washington, where they had a 2 deep rule for their school and they didn't enforce it. And so then this kindergarten teacher was able to molest multiple children, and it's just gone. So you can have a rule, but you have to enforce the rule. You can have 2 deep implied, but you still have to make sure everyone's doing it. So at all times, every single one of us must have 2 deep, no matter where we're at, no matter what we're doing. If you're with the kids, you gotta have that 2 deep. So from here, I'm going to have you guys move into the other rules video, but I was going to mention one really quick thing here. I'm also going to add to the chapel time when the kids arrive on Monday. They're going to get the rules video, and then I'm going to show them these 3 hand signals that I saw from an RFK national training, where basically the same idea of when I tell them to be safe and have fun, but we're going to add stick together this year. So they do hand signals for it, and I'm going to see how it works at camp, because I think it would be fun and less work for everyone involved if I can do hand signals at campers, and they can give them back to me. So basically, be safe. They changed to no hurts. So you're gonna go like this, and that's no hurts, which just is be safe. You're not hurting each other, and you're not getting hurt doing stuff weird and wild out there. The other hand signal is to stick together. And so basically, instead of having to like ask a kid, where's your camper, or where's your counselor, like what's going on, you can just be like, hey. And then they're gonna be like, he's coming, he's just slow. My counselor's the slowest. So stick together, no hurts, and then have fun is jazz hands. And I can't wait to jazz hands with children all over camp. So we're gonna add those in this year and see how that works as far as just nonverbal communications. Because then this hopefully would also help you guys keep track of your campers if they know everyone's gonna be around going, hey, 2 deep, stick together. But yeah, slide on over to the other video and watch the rest of the rules there to finish out the rules section for Camp 2026.